Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start with our first chapter, Absorption of Water. Today we are going to discuss the first part from the absorption of water. Students, when we say water, what come in front of us? Yes, water, simply H2O. What is this water? In chemistry, it is H2O, but in biology, this water is very important. Water is fluid of life because all the living things, including plants, are made up with the almost 80 to 90% of the water. All the metabolic activities which are taking place within the cell are takes place in water medium only. In any kind of living organism, in any kind of living cell, water is main medium for every metabolic activity. For example, photosynthesis, respiration, all type of cycles which are synthesizing primary metabolites, secondary metabolites required water only. The growing cells are made up with 90% or more water. On the contrary, in the dormant seeds and birds, the water content may be less than 10%. The presence of water is must for sustaining the life, and hence water is called as elixir of the life. Why? Because it is helping for survival forever. Water is a universal solvent, and all the vital life processes of every cell are takes place within the medium of water only. Without water, life is impossible. Without water, the cells of the organism get dehydrated, and which leads to we know death. So water is most important thing for the life, and therefore it is called as fluid of the life. Water is universal solvent. Almost all the organic substances are get dissolved within the water, and therefore it is called as universal solvent. We know that the water is important for all metabolic activity, all the life processes. We know the source of water for the life, but still we are going to see the role of water within the plant. Okay, in the life of plant, what are the importance? What is the role of water? We are going to see. Now, when we are talking about the role of water within the life, we must start with the water as a universal solvent. Almost everything, almost all the organic substances or the essential minerals, inorganic nutrients are get dissolved within the water. And this process of dissolution of all these substances is important for the growth and development of plant body. We know that water plants are taking all the nutrients via roots, and via roots they are absorbing the water. So within this absorption of water, there is absorption of minerals, nutrients from the soil, and which is important for the plant cells. Water is very important constituent of the protoplast of the cell. Almost 90 to 95% protoplast is made up with the water. So hence everything is get solubilized within this protoplast of the cell, and it made available to each and every cell organelle. So therefore this water is referred as essential of the life. It is the universal solvent of the life. which get available, due to which the all nutrients, all the minerals and the organic substances get available to the plant cells by mean for the growth and development. These absorbed minerals, nutrients are transported to the whole plant body, and this is the second role of the water. The transport of all the minerals, all the nutrients to the each and every part of the plant is takes place by means of water only. Because we know that plants are absorbing all the minerals, all the nutrients from the root and which are already dissolved within the water. These dissolved minerals and small ions are distributed within the plant body evenly by means of water only. So this is the second most important role of the water is transport of mineral within the plant body. Now, like minerals, the food material which is produced by means of photosynthesis is also distributed evenly within the plant body. And this again, for this distribution of food material, water is again important. We know that in the plant body, there are two types of tissue, xylem and phloem, for the conduction of water and for the conduction of food material. Within that, the phloem tissue are important for the conduction of food material from leaves to the whole plant body. We know that process of photosynthesis is takes place within the leaf, and there is synthesis of glucose molecule. These produced glucose molecules are distributed evenly within the plant body by means of phloem tissue, and for this distribution there is requirement of water. So this is third role of water molecule, that is transport of food material. Now, likewise, there is one very important process takes place within the plant body, that is exchange of gases. And this exchange of gases is guided by means of stomata. Now, the opening and closing of this stomata is again depend upon the water only. The water content. Now we know structure of stomata. There is presence of two guard cell and the slit between the guard cell, which is created due to shape of the guard cell is important for the exchange of gases. And this shape of guard cell is decided by means of water content. Now when there is presence of a plenty of water within the stomata, when there is presence of maximum amount of water, the stomata are get open, the slit is get open when the guard cell become turgid, and when they become flaccid there is closing of stomata. So opening and closing of stomata is also depend upon the water molecule only. Next, in all type of plants, in specifically in the lower plants like algae, fungi, bryophyte and pterophyte, water is important medium for the process of fertilization. Okay, now what is this fertilization? Fertilization is union of male and female gamete in order to produce the zygote. And for this process, in lower plant, water is acting as a medium. The male gamete is taken out up to the female gamete by means of water only. So, in this lower plants, water is important for the process of fertilization also. Mainly, this water is important to maintain stiffness and rigidity into the root hairs and the leaves. Mainly, the leaf surface should be remain expanded as much as in order to absorb maximum amount of sunlight. And this structure of expansion is maintained by means of water content only. As there is maximum amount of water within the leaf, they remain more and more expanded, and so that there is more amount of absorption of sunlight. Likewise, this stiffness and rigidity are mainly functional activity which are mainly depend upon the water content of the leaves. And same time, root hairs are involved in the process of absorption of water. As they remain rigid, there is maximum amount of absorption. Again, the water involve a main important role to maintain rigidity of the root hairs also. Samely, in all type of metabolic activity, water is very important. Cytoplasm is a center of the all type of metabolic activity. Within the cytoplasm, mainly two type of processes were always carried out. One is catabolic process, other one is anabolic process. We know catabolic processes are the activities of breaking down, anabolic processes are the activity of synthesis. This type of all activities are always carried out within the cytoplasm, and cytoplasm is main center of this activity, which is made up with the almost 80 to 90% of the water. So again, water is very essential for all type of metabolic activity. Now, one of the important process of the life on which the whole life is concentrated, whole life is depend on the only one universal energy synthesizing process, and that one is a photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis require water as a major component. We know what is the equation of photosynthesis? 6CO2 plus 12H2O lead to production of C6H12O6 plus water molecule and oxygen evolution. At the same time, water is acting as a substrate for the synthesis of glucose molecule. So again, in the process of photosynthesis, water is very important. Nextly, water is important to maintain the temperature of the plant body. We know that when there is high temperature, when there is high wind velocity, the plants are tending for the transpiration, and this transpiration is important to maintain the temperature of the plant. And we know what is transpiration? Evolution of water molecule in the form of vapor from the stomata. So again, in order to maintain the temperature of plant body, there is requirement of water molecule in the process of transpiration. Again, you might be seeing the plant of a touch me not. है ना? When we touch the leaf of the touch me not, there is closing of leaflet, and this type of processes were always guarded by means of water molecule. The uptake and removal of water molecule lead to such a type of movements. Therefore, in all type of plant movement, there is importance of water. This water is essential for opening and closing of flower, as well as it is important for movement of leaves. It is important for movement of root also. So, in all type of movement, again, plant is very important. And finally, one of the very important process, and that process is never been completed without presence of water, is seed germination. Seed germination, we know that when we sow a seed, there is emergence of a small plantlet from the seed. It is due to development of embryo which is present within the seed. And for this activity there is importance, or there is first step which is very very crucial, that is absorption of water and swelling of seed. And for this, due to this absorption of water and swelling of seed, there is breaking of seed coat and solubilization of food material which is present inside the seed. And this solubilized food material is important for development of plantlet from the embryo. So the very importantly, water is required for the seed germination. Within the seed germination, the first step is always absorption of water. Okay, now have you clear? These are the some important role of the water molecule within the plant body. In next lecture, we'll see the mechanism of water absorption within the plant. Okay, these are the some references which I have used for today's lecture. Thank you so much. If you have any query, you can ask me on a Google Classroom, or you can mail me directly. Thank you.